Hey everyone, and welcome. So today, we're going to dive into a really fascinating tension. What happens when pure, raw creativity bumps up against the world of big business? We're going to see this whole thing through the eyes of an artist, a poet named Avalok, who ends up at this party, a party that kind of forces him to question everything. Starting with, what does it actually mean to build something?
So let's just jump right into the heart of it. I looked around, I didn't fit. Wow. I mean, it's just 5 words, right? But they perfectly capture this feeling that kicks off the entire story. It's that moment of disconnect that, let's be honest, most of us have felt at some point. But for our poet here, it's more than just an awkward moment. It becomes the spark for a really deep dive into the whole purpose of art itself.
So you might be wondering, where is this feeling even coming from? Well, it all kicks off at a party. And look, this is not just any party. It's a huge celebration for a very, very specific kind of success. And right away, it sets the stage for this kind of tale of two builders.
Okay, so picture this. The host of the party is a close friend of our poet. They were schoolmates, right? But their paths, totally different. The friend is now a real estate mogul. I mean, a builder of these massive concrete projects you can see and touch. And the other friend? Well, he also considers himself a builder, but his material is words.
And the party itself? Oh man, it's the absolute picture of what we think of as making it. It's loud, it's flashy, it's all about what's on the outside. You've got the host just glowing with success, the music is absolutely pumping, it's a full-on celebration of tangible physical achievement. And it's exactly this environment that makes the poet's quiet, internal world feel so out of place.
Right, so this contrast just couldn't be more clear. He is absolutely an uncomfortable guest in this world of commerce. So let's kind of dig in a little bit and see what this feeling reveals, not just about the poet, but about his successful friend too.
And this, right here, this really gets to the core of it all. You've got 2 guys who both see themselves as builders. That's key. But for the mogul, success is measured in, giant concrete megaprojects. For the poet, it's measured in lines of poetry. It's almost like they're 2 sides of the same creative coin, but their ideas of what it means to build something and what success looks like are just worlds apart. Which brings us to the big question, right? The one that pivots this whole story from the outside in. We've seen the party, we've seen the world of commerce, so now, let's really explore the artist's inner world. What does it mean to build as a poet? What is he actually creating?
Well, to answer that, we really have to get into the nature of art itself, at least through our poet's eyes. And he has this absolutely beautiful philosophy, this idea of stretching inches to infinity.
And I love this because it pairs the idea directly with the art. Art is about stretching canvas inches to infinity. Think about that. It's not about building bigger and bigger buildings. Nope, it's about taking a small, limited space, like a canvas or a single page in a book, and using it to open up a universe of infinite ideas and feelings.
And that's really the magic trick of the artist, isn't it? You take something temporary, like a fleeting moment, a quick observation, a feeling, and you transform it into something that lasts, something that can resonate for ages. You're literally stretching these little moments into light years. It's like a kind of alchemy. So this whole alchemical process, this unique way of building with words, our artist actually has a name for it. He calls it versology. And the whole idea is built on this beautiful concept of a superstring of pearls.
Versology. And the definition? A superstring of pearls. I mean, how simple and elegant is that? It immediately tells you that poems aren't just these separate, isolated things. No, each one is like a precious, unique pearl, but they're all interconnected, strung together to create something even more beautiful, even more meaningful as a whole.
And here you can see a visual for that idea of the superstring of pearls. And what's really cool is that it's not just a straight, simple line, right? It's this vibrant, complex, layered thing, a whole where every single pearl, every poem just adds to the incredible richness of the final piece.
Okay, so this is really the key takeaway. If the moguls build with concrete and steel, what does the poet build with? Well, the thread that strings all those pearls together is compassionate witnessing. It's all about empathy, about pure observation, and just the simple act of paying attention to the world around you. That's the material. That's what connects everything.
Okay, so now that he has this deep philosophy, this compassionate witnessing, how does he actually react to the mogul's world? Let's go back to the party and see how this all plays out, how his night finally ends.
All right, so we're back at the party. He's surrounded by all this very loud, very visible success. Everyone's celebrating. But even with all that going on, he just feels this deep, fundamental disconnect between the world he's standing in and the one that he creates.
And then this really sobering thought hits him, but none of them had bought my book of poems. Oof. In this world, the way you measure success, sales, commercial recognition, it's just not there for him. His building, his creation, it hasn't found a buyer in this room.
And this, for me, is the real climax of the whole story. So what does he do? Faced with total commercial indifference, what's his move? Does he change his strategy? Try to be more like the mogul? Nope. He staggers home and he writes another poem. He just goes and creates. He adds another pearl to his string. And that tells you everything you need to know, right? For him, creating isn't about getting something else. Creating is the thing. It's just who he is.
And that leaves us with this really big, powerful question to think about. We've seen two kinds of builders, one who builds for a market, for an audience, and then you have the poet who seems to build simply because he has to. It's just part of his being. And it really makes you wonder about our own creative urges, doesn't it? Why do any of us create something when there's absolutely no guarantee anyone will see it? Maybe, at the end of the day, the answer is that it's not about being seen at all. Maybe it's about the simple, profound act of seeing, of that compassionate witnessing, and just quietly stringing together our own pearls. A lot to think about. Thanks for joining me for this one.